Hello, this is Grant. Welcome back to episode 18 of Dead Rising 2 Master Run. So this is going to take a little bit of a change because we have the Hunger Pain scoop, which is simple. Just bring a dude some food and he gives you some Zombrex. Again, easy Zombrex. The Fetching Female scoop, which is pretty easy, just need $10,000. But we also have a hidden scoop in one of the casinos where we have to go and play poker. And it costs a minimum of $100,000 to actually partake, which is one of the big concerns I had. Is I didn't know how easy it was on your first playthrough to get $100,000. Luckily, it's not too bad. Like, you'll see me like throughout the entire series so far, just trying to get just different like breaking ATMs or playing some games. But we need all three of the gambling books to have a good chance to actually do this. What they do is they help you get like either better cards or the opponents will bet more on hands you're going to win. So it helps the whole thing go faster, which is that's a huge thing, is time still rolls the entire time. As well as just helping you out. Like you can still mess it up, but statistically it's slanted in your favor. Get like, instead of getting 2s and 3s, you'll pretty much always get like 10s through aces. So that helps your chances a lot. If you're not familiar with poker, essentially, I'll try to explain it as we go there, because there's a lot of downtime. There's 2 times you play poker in the game. There's this one, which is the high roller scoop, I think it's officially called, and it goes from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. So it can take a while, so you have to make sure you have everything ready to go. But if you do beat them, you get $1 million, which is technically the best money-making opportunity, but you only can do it once. And the other time is the anti-up scoop, which is you just play with people in the safe room. You don't get any money, I don't believe. And really the only point is just for fun, because you can keep playing it over and over. But there's the one unlock you have where it's technically strip poker. And you go play against Jack, who's by far the strongest one there. And he has that knight helmet, where if you assemble the entire knight armor and beard, then you get double health while you're wearing that whole set. So, man, I missed. Can't believe that. So we're going to head in here. It's actually kind of a cool idea. I just hate being required. Particularly the anti-up one's dumb because Jack is very tough to beat. It's just, he's a monstrosity. And the other bots just enable him. Luckily, this goes very well. So, there's that. That's nice. Because they can be dicks about this, honestly. They each have their own little personality. Like sometimes certain ones will be like they'll bluff a lot, other ones will bet high, other ones are really timid. I don't quite know what it is. But you'll see like right here, Nevada, I believe, is the toughest opponent. And then Jacob's not that bad. Jessica, I don't really know what her personality is like. But a big issue you can run into is they just won't play. Like they'll just keep folding on the like when they pass the cards pre-flop. Like this is Texas Hold'em, so I guess I should cover that. But you need to get them to spend their money so that you can get it. If they keep like folding, I guess eventually the blinds are going to force them out. But really, it's just going to take forever, and we are on a time crunch. So essentially, the way poker works is you have hands, and hands are 5 cards, and certain combinations are better than others. So in basic poker, like you normally would get 5 cards, and you would bet. So like, say I have a high chance of winning, so I would bet a lot. And then the other person has to either fold, or they can match, or they can raise to try and get the pot, the final prize, for whoever has the best hand, higher. So, yeah, in Texas Hold'em, the difference is you have 2 cards that are hidden, and then you have 5 community cards. And you can make a hand using your 2 cards and any of the 5 cards, but you only can use 5. So you could use 1 card, like 4 from the table and 1 from your hand, or 2 and 3. So there's a lot of like finesse that goes in this. It's kind of hard to explain on the spot. If you're playing, you can pull up the rules and all the card like ratios, like which is better than what. But really, I actually like this because like I used to play poker with my friends. Like we'd play for cash and stuff, just very simple. Because personally, I believe it helps a lot to pay with cash because otherwise, people are just like too willing to lose. Whereas if they actually have money on the line, it's a lot easier to like bluff. Like it was very hard if you're not playing for cash to bluff because it's like, oh well, what do I really have to lose to call your bluff? Like sure, they might call you out if you are bluffing, or I mean they could just be like, oh, you have a straight, they have a high card, and they're just like, okay, you sure you want to keep calling? It's like okay, whatever, and then they just lose like half of their chips. It's like, oh well, at least I saw it out. Yeah. So I spoke before. We're slated to win. Really, you can look. Poker is it's like 50% skill, 50% luck. Because technically your cards are random. The skill in poker is playing your opponents. Essentially, you want to minimize your losses and maximize your profits. So when you do have good cards, you don't want to just go in and be like all in, because then everyone's like, well, he's got good cards, and you're not going to get a lot of chips in the pot. You want to almost like milk it. You want to get people to like, you want to string them along, like not knowing you have good cards, or thinking that they can beat you, and then get all the way to the end and then get the max amount of profit. Or if you know you're going to lose, you want to be able to call it way earlier so that statistically it's like you have a better chance. Because even if you keep losing, you keep those margins small, and when you win, you get really high margins, and hopefully all the luck should work out. And it really is like you got to play your opponents like knowing like, okay, if they have 4 hearts on the table already and this one person's betting high, they probably have a flush. And there's a lot of stuff to go into poker and just like reading people's reactions and how they bet and whatnot. But for me, like the hardest part is most people don't know how to play poker. Honestly, just like simple stuff. Like I know a big rule is that I know is missed is everyone needs to be able to beat the I guess you call the house's hand. I don't really know the term for the table, but you can run into a situation where a player may have the best hand, but if it's not better than the 5 cards on the table, then I believe the pot stays on the table or gets split. I don't really recall. And so there's that. Or managing side pots. So like if you go all in on the first turn, people keep betting. You can't ever win more than you bet. So stuff like that. I like poker. It's fun. I think it's a really cool classic skill to be able to know how to do. So it's too bad there's not just like not a lot of people play poker, or like just don't really know how. And no one also like I thought about getting more into poker when I just like had more time, but then no one wants to play with you if you were like actually really good at poker and everyone is just casual. You know, if you're gonna try hard like that, it kind of ruins the experience. So I'm actually, I believe at the start here, not doing that well. I guess I should explain blinds, because blinds are a crucial part. So like I said, in poker, you can check, you can raise, you can fold. And essentially the way this works is you get your 2 cards, you can bet or whatnot, and then you go around, you call, you raise, whatever, do that whole betting round. They flip over the first 3 cards, do it again, next card, do it again, next card, do it again. And then you show. Well, to help drive like interaction, you have 3 positions that rotate the table. You have dealer, small blind, and big blind. And dealer deals the cards. Small blind is half of the big blind, and it's an amount you're required to bet. Like no matter what, before you even see your cards, you're required to put that much money down. Big blind is twice as much, and same thing, you have to pay that amount. And then the small blind and the big blind determine the minimum bets. So 1, it forces people to pay to stay in the game, and like they can't just be cheap and keep folding. Like so, oh, I don't like these cards, fold until they have like double aces or something. Because eventually the blind, which keeps raising every round or so, like every time that I believe the dealer chip goes around, the blind goes up. It forces them to keep going. Plus, it helps deal with the fact that once like people drop out, like you might have like $100,000 in chips between 5 people. Well, it's pretty simple to get people out then, but when it's down to 2 people with 50,000 each, if you don't have like an increased bet, then you're kind of screwed. I do want to mention right here, I got a big win, and I just got lucky. I just went in like, please work, because if you can get a big, like really lucky call like that, it can just change the game. I gotta say, I hate Nevada. He folds so much. He's a real pain to deal with. He's really good at like minimizing his losses, which I don't know how fair the game is. Like it might be the bots might be written to kind of know what your cards are and the chances. But at this point, I'm like, fuck it. I got 3 queens. Even if he folds, Jessica's out, which is what I'm going for. And turns out really lucky for me, so I can kick her out and I get 220,000, which is, that's a lie. Most of that's mine. It's a little bit misleading. But yeah, I like poker. I don't like playing it under a time limit with all these other crazy stuff. Like a lot of that's the issue. Is like you want to be able to force it. You want to start being like all in and raises and stuff. So even if you lose, you can just like I usually save right before this because it's pretty simple to get screwed over. And sometimes the cards just never go in your favor, even with the magazines. Again with the folding, Nevada. Really annoys me. So then again though, this poker is much better than the ante up because Jack's a little bitch about it. Like it's like he either folds on every turn, or he's got like a double just on his own or a straight. It's obviously really well slated towards him. Never play poker, I'd recommend it. Just get a. It's pretty simple to pick up, and if you know other people who don't play it, if you can all just like stay at the same skill level, that works out really well because poker's a very skill-based game, and one person could easily dominate. Although there is that luck thing. For all you know, like someone who doesn't even understand how it works could just be pulling like royal flushes every single time. Unlikely, but not technically impossible. So, but this is going to be the majority of this episode just because this takes a while. You'll see me checking my watch just to see like how things progress. You can still get calls and answer them all like throughout this portion. So don't feel like you're going to miss anything. And just as long as you go in prepared, it's not too bad. Make sure you save before this because sometimes it just will not help you. But yeah, really you want a big reason you want to get the gambling magazines no matter how good you are at poker is just because a big part of poker is playing your opponents. And like to my knowledge, none of these bots have like a tell or something that you can understand when they're bluffing. I think if it was a bigger part of the game, you could probably go through and there's probably ones that like say maybe Jacob is like always bluffs or something. That's probably written into their personalities. But it's hard to say, you know, or like how you react isn't a big factor, which in normal poker it is. So like if you bluff at the wrong time, then that's going to screw you over, whereas the bots really they just see it as a bluff. In fact, it's like I don't even know how do you code a bot to understand a bluff, you know? It's just kind of you don't understand what the game is taking into account and what it isn't. It's like the snowflake fight. It's like it's hard to make a strategy when you don't really know like what pieces are on the board. I'll admit here I got really lucky. Man. So as soon as Nevada gets out, it's nice because like he only goes in if he has a lot. Like there, he didn't go in until he had 2 kings. It's crazy. Luckily, I knocked that out really quickly. Like that turn was an amazing turn, and that was mostly luck. I will say, like I wasn't watching too closely, but I am a little bit a-clicky just because when I go through this because I've done it so many times. So I think in some of the other versions, or like when I go fight or I play the other survivors, sometimes I'll just like accidentally. Like I'll advance and like I'll keep going because like you know what, screw it. I just want to see the end of this, and I'll play some bad moves. But I'm not too concerned since you are slated to win pretty much. So don't judge me too hard. The worst is I've had when I was getting back used to playing them is the option always stays on your last picked option on that screen, like when you're playing. So normally you'll check, and so I assume it's on check. But I'll forget sometimes, and I fold the last round. And I think it actually happened where I had like 2 aces, like right at the beginning were my cards. I folded on that because I just assumed I was going to keep clicking A. And it's like, oh god. So, and that can hurt you really bad if you like the one turn you're up to win, you don't capitalize, or if you capitalize too hard, that's also an issue. That, like I said, if you like, you might have great cards like double aces, but if you go all in with like $200,000, then everyone's like, oh, he's got good cards because he's been all in, so I'm not going to deal with it. And then you only get the blind money, which is very little comparatively. talk a little more, I'm sure, when we get to the ante up, which is a lot harder. But I would love to. It'd be cool. Maybe I should do like a poker series, just like of me playing poker with my friends and breaking it down after the fact. We could do like multi-cams and commentary where we can't see each other's, but everything's recorded and I could edit up. That could be cool. That could be cool. I would not say I'm good at poker. I just say I know more than the people I play with a little bit, just because I was the one who would like always get it going, so I had to make sure I had everything for the rules and whatnot. But like in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty shitty. Particularly, I'll forget to check for certain hands. I'll be like, man, I got this. And it's like, oh wait, of course he had a straight. Why didn't I think to check the numbers instead of just the suits? I miss it. I used to play poker, but we ended up having that taken over by we would go play D&D, which would also take up more time. Plus, it's very hard with poker to get the right amounts for things like the blinds. Because if your blinds are too small, the game never ends. Because, like, people have so much money and it's not forcing it out. On the other side of things, if your blinds are too big, then the game is too much chance because it forces you to bet on hands where like say if your blind forces you to bet all your money, it's like, it's up to luck whether or not that hand is a good hand or not. So it's this weird thing where you want to get just the right mix. So, and you can do it other ways. You can pay an ante instead, which is just everyone plays a flat fee. That works, but not as well as blinds. I prefer blinds. It's just hard to get the right ratios. So here, these are a bunch of prostitutes, ladies of the night. They're only hookers after they die, so. But you got to pay them $10,000 for them to join your party. But so I did this just for the pee-pee. But what's interesting about these survivors, and I think it's kind of a cool little, I guess, story element, is you do not want to give these women weapons because they have unique punches that do a lot of damage to zombies. They always one-shot zombies. And I'm sure that's like a thing, like they had to learn to defend themselves or whatnot because of their old profession. The world's oldest profession, in fact. So it's just a neat little tidbit. Like, you might be tempted to equip them with like a crowbar or something, in which case you're actively making them worse because they're great survivors, which is pretty interesting. You do have to have the 10,000, but it's really easy to get $10,000 in this game, particularly when we just got $1 million from that poker. I'd say if you're concerned about money at all, always do the poker scoop. If you're not doing anything else, it's pretty easy to get the books, and $1 million is really hard to pass up if you have any reason you need money in the future. Like, particularly, I would like to get some of the car unlocks, but they're pretty big. But if you get the $1 million, you're well on your way to being done with those. If only the poker players were as good. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Till next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.